In the UK, the pound weakened this morning as investors dash into the safety of the US dollar and the euro again. Sterling had lost 0.75 cents to $1.15, back towards the 35-year lows of $1.14 set last Friday. Well, let's get my colleague there, Juliana, to bring us up to speed with development. Hello, Juliana. Good afternoon. Well, London FTSE 100 index sank more than 4% at an early trade. Bring us up to speed with the market, the equities, currencies. How are they faring at intraday?
Well, as to be expected, the market's flashing red in front of traders' screens is the new normal. A lot of economists are calling the FTSE a picture of ill health at intraday. The all-share is down 3.75%, the FTSE 100 down 3.66%, and the FTSE 250 down by 4.02%. In currencies, the pound is also down on the dollar by 0.60%, down on the euro by 0.58%, and down on the Japanese yen by 0.84%. I did hear you speak about it with Chimeze, with our dear friend in Frankfurt, Chimeze, and it does appear as if this last minute push by the US Fed Reserve, saying they will buy as much debt as possible to cushion the blow for the coronavirus, is really good news for investors. It'll be interesting to see just how the FTSE closes, because of course we've seen with the two largest economies, they're doing whatever they can to kind of stop the globe from going into a recession. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens there. But some shares worth mentioning: the oil majors are down pretty much. Royal Dutch Shell is down 3.6%. Brent crude is also down by about 3%. And Pearson's, that's the academic publishing company, who had been doing pretty well over the past couple of weeks, as a lot of schools, of course, are doing online teaching. Because they've cancelled their dividend, their shares are down some 11% at intraday.
And more UK firms are cancelling dividends as market sell-off continue. Can you tell us more about this? What companies are cancelling dividend payments?
Well, there are so many companies, Chimeze. In fact, the FTSE 350, which of course is just behind the domestic 250, last week alone, they cancelled nearly £500 million worth of dividends. And really, this has started from the financial regulators in the UK early last week. They sent out a warning to the city, saying to company executives, please be careful about paying out bonuses, about paying out larger than large salaries. And they're really all adhering to it. 15% is as much as how the FTSE all-share has been falling week upon week, numbers that we haven't been seeing even in the financial crisis. And then we've seen now a lot of these major companies are saying they won't be paying out to their shareholders. So you've got the likes of Wetherspoons, which is a huge pub and bar retailer here in the UK. They own thousands of bars. Marks and Spencers have also said they won't be doing it. Shell have said that they'll be reducing the amount of dividends they're paying. Also, bus operators like Stagecoach, Go Ahead, and there are several others. Now, there are some concerns that this is the first start to potentially the closing down of stock markets, and some shareholders, as you can expect, a little bit ticked off at this. Some shareholders, tens of thousands of them, do rely on these dividends as their monthly payout, but the fact that they've now been cancelled just shows how much financial regulators are concerned about this. They do not want to see people cashing in on the fact that so many of these companies are falling, as we've seen with many companies that have gone bankrupt and their CEOs were receiving big salaries. So this is the start of potentially something serious. But I think the regulators are, of course, they've learnt their lessons from what happened in the 2008 and 2009 crisis, where several missed out and some won.
Now, despite Prime Minister Boris Johnson exempting takeaway food places from closing, McDonald's, Nando's and coffee chain Costa say they will close all UK restaurants. How are Britons reacting to this, and is it likely others will follow suit?
It's definitely likely that people will follow suit, Chimaze. And I've been on Twitter, and there has been a lot of people saying they'll be going to McDonald's and any of these other restaurants in a last-minute stockpiling buy, shall we say. But look, you know, this was inevitable. Of course, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, did say on Friday that restaurants should close. And he said, of course, if you're doing takeaways, you can stay open. But, you know, just looking at some of the queues over the weekend in places like McDonald's and Nando's, where even just to get your lunch or dinner to take out was causing severe gatherings. They said that it was the right thing to do. McDonald's hire over 135,000 staff in the UK, which includes Ireland. So it will affect a lot of people. I have been hearing that Nando's did say that they will be paying their staff their full salary until the end of this month, and then 80% thereafter. So it does appear to be a good sign. But no, this is inevitable, and thousands upon thousands of restaurants have done so. So anyone that was ordering takeaway but was getting so many people queuing up decided in the best interests of the public and their staff that they should close their doors.
Thank you, Juliana. But please, let's continue to stay safe.